Good morning and welcome. This is Off the Press on Plus TV Africa. My name is Felicity Ezewike. What we do basically is take a look at the headlines in the newspapers, and with the help of our guest, we'll make sense of it. And then you can go meet your vendor and grab a copy of your favorite newspaper. Talking of guests, I have Abayomi Oke Ashiwaju, social commentator. Thank you very much for coming on
thank
the
you for having
program.
me once again.
Alrighty, let's get cracking. We'll start with the Punch newspaper. Shiites file case against ban today. Suspend protest. That's on the front page. Police Army joint operations against sect ongoing. Details of that is on page 2 of the paper. You will see on the front page the people not learning from past mistakes. They are scooping diesel on, let me just read what's underneath. Scenes of a crash of a diesel tanker on the Long Bridge, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, somewhere in Ogun State. That's it on your screen. I don't know why people never listen. They never learn. Edo Kano Delta lead in human trafficking. That's not a good one. Lady ask boyfriend to rape friend. Films incident. A Papa gridlock saddens me, Buhari. Port congestion forcing multinationals to leave. On the back page of the Punch newspaper, what Lai Mohammed should have told his grandson. That's interesting. You might want to go look at that. And then the Expression pictorial reportage. I don't know if that can come up on the screen now. That's still on the front page. We're on the back page now. At the very bottom of the back page, you will see the picture of residents of Satellite Town protesting. There's it. Residents of Satellite Town protesting the location of tank farms within their community at the Lagos State House of Assembly complex. You can see what's written boldly on the banner they have: Save Satellite Town, Lagos. All right. I want to get your, when you saw this, what came to your mind? This whole scene of people scooping diesel.
Hey, it's just like what you said, that our people don't learn from history. That's one sad thing. Because I can't just imagine what will happen if an inferno erupt from this scene that we are looking at. But I don't know, probably it's the level of poverty. I don't know, probably it's the level of, I don't know, is it that our people are illiterate? Is it that they don't get the gist once? Or, I don't know. I really bet it's unfortunate. Because this could have turned out to be another disaster.
Yeah, this is not just one sin. We know that wherever there is a tanker incident, Nigerians tend to disregard all caution, disregard all common sense, and then they go to scoop simply because, is it like a pointer to a deeper problem in our community, or it's just people's insane desire for instant wealth?
Exactly, that's it. That's why I said I think we can trace it to the level of poverty. When you think you can't possibly make it legitimately and get the real money that you actually need, and you just feel any opportunity that comes, and that's why, even aside from this, it's so worrisome when I see people still at the point of accident. Take, for example, an accident occur on the main road. Instead of you to be sympathetic with the situation and then save the victims, you see people laying hands on purses and getting their phones and all that. It's unfortunate. But as regards this, I think we should keep sensitizing our people. I'm in a house now. I know I'm educated. At least I should be able to sensitize my parents, my neighbors, people around me that dangers. Okay, things like this shouldn't be the way to go.
Let's look at the screamer now.
All right. Okay, let me start. Okay, the Shiite. Let me start from the lady that asked his boyfriend to rape a friend and film, because I think I must commend the victim now, the lady that reported the case, for her to have some of the courage to say, okay, police, this actually happened to me. I read the story. I noticed that the friend was actually the one who, orchestrated the whole thing. I said, hey, lady, go and drop this with my boyfriend at home. And eventually, she was drugged and she was raped, and this same friend filmed the whole thing. Now, I just want to say to you that it's good that this lady, the victim, now came out to say, okay, this thing actually happened, and the police, they've taken up the case. So this is a point out to the fact that most rape victims should not keep quiet. regardless of who is involved.
And not everybody gets justice. The little 16-year-old girl, I actually did a documentary on this. The same thing happened. She was filmed, and then she was told that if she tells anyone, her family, herself will be killed. You see this oppressive, this sense of oppression that's going there. Justice has not been served in that case. So this is just one.
Yes.
In a million cases.
The fact that we have one simply means that we can keep pushing. We should not relent. That's what I mean. We can still keep pushing. We should, because of course we have so many silenced rape victims, not just in Nigeria, all over the world. That some of them may be silenced by the perpetrator. Some of them may be silenced by even the third party whom you told. Actually, some of them can even be silenced by themselves. Like, if I should go out to talk about it, people will say, oh, you are the one who lured the other person, you are the one who seduced the other person, or things like that. But the fact that we can still have one case that's being treated, then that simply means we should encourage others to come out and talk about it. Shites file case against ban today, suspend protest. Of course, they have the right to do so. So they should go ahead and protest. They should go ahead and protest their suspension or their ban, as the case may be.
All right, this one on, we'll use highway cameras to curb banditry. That's Buhari. Is that feasible, in your opinion?
Yes, I said it the other day. I was here that it's long overdue for us to have CCTVs, on our, what's it called, the mast.
The security of this CCTV. You know how it is with Nigeria. Even the poles you have on the highway, on the bridges, people go there and they steal it. So how can we ensure that these cameras will not be stolen?
One, the mast itself has security. I think the telecom companies, they have security that man the mast. So if there is need for us to do, and I said we can even engage private security firms. And I said those one will be more responsible because they know that it's not just about their job is at stake. The company they work with is equally at stake when it comes to this.
All right, let's look at the Vanguard and see what's on here now. FG to deploy CCTV drones for security in Southwest. That's the Ooni speaking. Some of you might have been following that story, and we've just touched on it on Punch newspaper. It has two riders to restructure Nigeria's security architecture. Says bad Fulanis will leave Yorubaland. Bad was put in quotes, as you can see on your screen. Details on page 5 of the paper. Southwest Royal Fathers at Aso Villa. That's it. We also have EcoBank Nigeria removes 2 million plastic bottles from Lagos streets. That's quite commendable.
Yeah, I think the reuse, recycle, and reduce policy is a good thing. I've said it. I'm from Ogun State. I propose it to the new government that instead of, we can make everybody an ambassador for cleanliness, for environmental cleanliness and all that. Okay, bring all those bottles, separate them from the other dirt, and it can be recycled. We can make money out of this. It can be used for energy. It can be used for so many other things. Then we'll have our streets clean.
We also have this story, presidential poll will have no hand in Buhari's Cambridge documents. WAEC Deputy Registrar speaking there. Stop policies that will break up Nigeria, Finifere tells Buhari. That's also on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Olu of Warri to Buhari. Open up ports facility in southeastern corridors. That's it on your screen. Maybe not too clear, but that's it there. We also have the Aliyah's mother urged FG to intensify efforts towards daughter's release. We'll go to the top of the paper. We'll see the treaty, the AFCFTA, not compatible with this country's rabid protectionist tendency. That's somebody speaking, Olu speaking there. We also have prescription Shiites head to court. Boko Haram insurgency far from over. That's the UN. Insider frauds rock banks as losses rise by 541% to 15 billion naira. On the back page, as usual, we have sports. Sudoka will be joining us a little later. But for now, let's just focus on the front page. Which would you like to speak of?
We have no hand in Buhari's Cambridge documents. So many other papers reported it differently anyway. Yeah. Because if you check this, you would think the WAEC man actually disowned Buhari. No, not exactly. We have no hand in Buhari's Cambridge document. Simply means that he did not sign, WAEC did not sign that Cambridge document. But they actually confirmed that WAEC is in partnership with Cambridge for that exam, and anyone who holds that document, that Cambridge certificate or result, as the case may be, should be likened or can be likened to have a senior secondary school certificate.
There's quite different interpretations, actually. I think there is another interpretation that says there is no affiliation between WAEC and Cambridge.
Okay, that's why I said the way the paper has reported it differs anyway. But I read into one of the papers that the man did not outrightly disown they said there is a relationship between them and University of Cambridge and what Buhari is holding, but the fact that they did not sign it, so it can't actually attest. And I think that came up when the spelling of Muhammad differs
another issue.
So he had to say, okay, I can't confirm this because my signature isn't on it.
All right, let's see, which other one would you want to talk about?
Leah's mother urges FG to intensify effort towards daughter's release. Yes, I just still hope that Leah is alive. I hope that what we heard from the lady Grace last week wasn't true. So please, federal government, we are pleading. They should do something. Bring that girl home.
Certainly. We are pleading together. Look at our hands. We're putting it together and appealing.
Please bring Leah
I wish I can show us on the screen now so you can actually see what we're doing. We're appealing that the federal government does the needful. All right. We'll continue with the Nation newspaper. This says drones, CCTVs to fight insecurity in Southwest states to get license for highways, forest monitoring equipment. We've touched on that already. Edo Assembly sues National Assembly. Algon to Makinde obey court order. Federal government saves 500 billion naira from looters. Shiites suspend free El Zagzaki protest. African TT Club Championship begins. That's a little bit of sports for you on the front page of the Nation newspaper. We have federal government labor minimum wage talks deadlocked. Are we still talking? WAEC official presidential aide confirms Buhari's certificate. Let's see on the back page what we have. Comment and debate. Olatunji says BBN's guinea fowls, the blooming. I'd like to read this one. There is a quote here that says the show thus becomes a pornographic parable of Nigeria's submission to amoral sex and power. I'd love to read this one. I urge you to go read it as well. Dialogue by Monologue, that's another one on the back page. Interesting reads always if you take time to cover it through. All right, your thoughts?
Okay, let me start from the back page. I hardly like to comment on a BBN issue. When I see it on social media and everywhere, I just ignore it because I feel I'll be giving it undue publicity, and they didn't pay me for that anyway. But I just want to say that if anybody comes up with a business idea and is thriving, and you have an issue with it, come up with another, counter it with another business idea, and promote yours too. And let's see if it's going to thrive. I see no reason why we should speak ill or speak bad of any initiative, any idea that is legal. Understand? I think it's, for me, it's somehow for people to say, okay, BBN is pornographic in nature, and of course we watch movies at home, even with our kids, films rated 18, with our kids at home, where things that we should not be saying on national TV, keeps occurring on those screens, and yet you people don't condemn it, you still condone it. But just because one is popular, a particular show is popular out there, and then just trying to talk.
I would really love to take you up on that, but let's just focus on all the headlines so we can capture as much as possible.
Right. Edo Assembly sues National Assembly. Yes, the two parliaments, House of Rep, the Senate, they said, Edo State Governor, go back to, proclaim, make a new proclamation of the assembly. Of course, an assembly of over 20 members, 9 persons were sworn in, even in the night, you understand, 9 p.m. I don't know if it's stated in their books that it is fine by them. But normally, with all sense of anything that we want to use to judge it, you just swear in 9, and the others are out there not,
But so, the governor is insisting that he's done what due diligence, he's done what he's supposed to do. He's not expected to do it again, while the National Assembly is saying, you didn't do it right, do it again.
All right, if he can face the two parliaments now, the rep, because the two parliaments, the strongest legislative body in the country, they are saying, Oga, do the right thing. Of course, you have representatives from your state in those assemblies, and of course they should have spoken for you, but I guess they're actually speaking against you because they are the voice of the people on that floor. So I guess the Edo governor should just yield to the call made by her. And also for Oyo State Governor Governor Makinde, he came and the next thing he suspended the local government and said, you guys should bring your books and all that. I said, no, there is an existing Supreme Court, judgment that says that local government should be allowed to use their terms, which is 3 years. The governors should not, have this alpha and omega kind of power over this local government. So I want to plead with, I expect that the governor should please obey the court order that says, let status quo remain.
I want you to talk briefly on this federal government labor minimum wage talks deadlocked. They said the minimum wage battle is far from being over despite the signing of the bill into law by President Muhammadu Buhari. Where are we going with this? We're expecting by now that there will be some sort of implementation at some level.
Yes, that's the problem with Nigeria. They say talk is cheap. People just come out and they say, okay, this should be done, this should be executed. Unfortunately, at the implementation stage. Now, if you go in further to query this or check what is actually happening, you will notice that it's at some point probably a bureaucratic process at the civil service there that somebody is saying, if we check their accounts, this thing cannot be done and all that. Then somebody will say, hold on. The president may not even be aware. You understand some of these things. For him, he has just said, go ahead and I've signed this thing, bed implementation. And who will you find there? The civil service.
All right, we move on to ThisDay newspaper now. The picture on the front page is our traditional rulers. For secured Southwest, they're still fighting to secure the Southwest. That's the president and vice president on your screen now. Yeah, we also have just beside it, you'll see Buratai to officers. You must be loyal to president, constitution. That's a strong call there. We also have the screamer this time is Buhari will deploy technology, overhaul security architecture to stem crime. It has a couple of riders to fix CCTVs on highways, license states to use drones. Saddens by persistent traffic gridlock in Apapa. As the president is saddened. Shiites suspend protests to federal government over prescription. Amnesty International condemned sects ban. A lot of persons has condemned that already. Buhari passed WAEC exam with 5 credits, official tells tribunal. And on the back page of the paper, we have, let me talk to my father before I die. That's Olusegun Adeyeye. I hope he's not dying anytime soon. You might want to read that one for yourself. But let's come to you.
Okay.
Bayomi, what do you think of these headlines?
Okay, we've talked about the issue of
the CCTV.
The CCTV and of course the drone. Why not? The state governors, they are the chief security officers of their state, and particularly for us in the Southwest, because I'm a Southwesterner, for us in the Southwest, we can't afford to, ignore the signs that we are seeing that insecurity may begin to, thrive in our land. So, of course, I love the proactive nature. No, it's not even proactive enough because it's because something happened to the Afenifere leader's daughter. That's why we can see our Ooni of Ife, Olu of Ilaru, and the other top monarchs, reaching out to Mr. President. So I expect that our governors should, now that the president has said, okay, we would issue license for states
they should
to fly drones and all that. So they should activate it. We shouldn't have issues with implementation again. They should activate it. Security is key. When we are secured in this country, of course, investment. Every other thing will work well. There will be investment. There will be any other thing you invest in, we go on smoothly. So please, the governors, they should just activate this and don't let it just slip under the rug.
I want to speak on this, Buratai, to officers to be loyal to the president and the constitution.
Yes, of course. The president is the Grand Commander and the Chief Commander of the Armed Forces, as the case may be. So, of course, their loyalty is to him and, of course, to the Constitution. He's just trying to tell them that they should, by no reason, be partisan. Don't say because a political party is involved and you have an allegiance to that political party or a politician, as the case may be. No. Be loyal to the president and the constitution. And I think if they follow that through, it's good for them.
All right, thank you very much, Abayomi Oke Ashiwaju, for coming on the program this morning. Always a pleasure to have you join us.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a short break, and when we come back with Doka, we'll be here to talk sports. Welcome and thanks for staying with us. I have Udoka Njoku, our sports analyst, sports correspondent, sports reporter, sports. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. All right, we have complete sports now. We'll just take a look at some of the headlines as quickly as we can. FIFA, the best player of the year. We have Ronaldo, Messi battle Liverpool trio. We also have Mikel Pick's number 12 shirt at Trabzonspor.
Yeah,
yay. Cites Chelsea as reason behind decision. Those are some headlines for you on the front page. That's it on your screen. We also have a 5-star Chelsea. Klopp leads the way. We also have the PSG veto Barcelona Neymar move. Let me just give you more time to... We also have this Pep trouble for Iwobi.
Yeah, for Iwobi, that's the new signing, which has not been announced yet. Nicolas Pepe, who moved from Lille to Arsenal for about 80 million euros. So if he does get a shirt, a starting shirt in the Arsenal jersey and the Arsenal lineup, it might spell trouble for Alex Iwobi because he might be playing in the same position as Alex Iwobi. He's a forward, so he'll be pairing up with the likes of Aubameyang and Alexander Lacazette in the club. But Iwobi has to work hard to retain his starting shirt in Arsenal. And for the FIFA The Best Player Award, Ronaldo, Messi, yet again, up for the top prize. Last year it was Griezmann who won the award, but this time around we have Ronaldo and Messi. Neymar is missing in this one. There's a Kylian Mbappe. And for the Liverpool trio, talking about Mohamed Salah, there's also Sadio Mane and Virgil van Dijk, the defender, who everyone is actually looking forward to and hoping that he gets to win the top prize in that one. But let's see how it goes. Ronaldo and Messi still stand a strong chance in winning the coveted award. And for Mikel Obi, he left his club side, talking about the championship side, Middlesbrough, and now he's back to Turkey where he'll be playing with Trabzonspor. So it's a good move for Obi Mikel, who actually quit the national team, talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Let's take a quick swipe on the back page of the Vanguard Sports. Pepper stats, Iwobi, Mkhitaryan's Arsenal careers in jeopardy. We also have Igalo makes U-turn on retirement. Mikel picks number 12 jersey, that's repeated here. Tammy Abraham sends positive signal to Raul. And then we have Chukwu charges Rangers to win laurels. Which of these would you want to talk about quickly?
But for Tammy Abraham, there was time he was contacted to come play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and he said he wasn't going to feature for Nigeria, but I think he has opened the doors. He has left it open to get a chance to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So Ghana Rob might just get in and tap him, knowing that Ojene Gallo retired at first. Now we're hearing that he has made a U-turn in his announcements. But let's see how that turns out for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And the same news about Alex Iwobi and Mkhitaryan. If Pepe gets a starting shirt in Arsenal, these two guys will be in trouble. They have to just work hard to retain their jerseys.
Thank you very much, Udoka, as always, for coming. And thank you for watching. Remember to go take a look at the Vanguard Mr. and Mrs. cartoon. We don't have time for me to read it out for you this morning. Always a funny thing to look at. Thanks again for watching. You take care of yourself now.